Good evening, and welcome to my late night spook show here on the Horror Metal channel. I'm a Hellhound. I figured I'd have time for a quick movie review tonight. If you hadn't noticed, I privated some of my earlier videos, some of the old videos that I first made when I started this channel. I plan on redoing them all because I wasn't very good back then. Not that I'm like any really professional now or anything, but I paused a lot. Talked really slow and on tangents. I'm a lot more comfortable in front of a camera now, and I think I'm a little better at the craft, So, plus, I just wanted to update them anyway, my ranking videos and all that. So, if you're interested in watching the original videos, let me know, and I'll send you the link. But I do plan on redoing them all, and they'll be a lot better. Honestly, there's no reason to watch those old ones. But anyway, I'm going to do another movie review real quick. Today we're going to look at Popcorn from 1991, directed by Mark Harrier, and starring Jill Sholin, who's no stranger to the horror genre. She was also in The Stepfather and Cutting Class and What a Stranger Calls Back and a few others. I haven't seen this movie in a few years, and I was going to rewatch it just to kind of freshen my mind. The thing is, I don't have it on any other format. I don't have it on DVD or Blu-ray, and it's mostly out of print. It's really hard to find. It's not available on any streaming sites. It's not on YouTube or anything, so it's very hard to find. So this is the only copy I have. And I'm afraid that I have two VCRs. Both are really good. None of them have ate a tape before, but I don't want to take a chance. This is going to be the first time. I might eat my tape, and I'll be without a copy, so... I was going to rewatch it, but I think I remember enough about it to do a proper review. I could do it justice, I think. Enough to recommend it or to not recommend it. We'll see. Let's just jump right in. It came out in 1991. It feels very much like an 80s movie. Now, is it good or bad? Well, I'd say it's kind of both good and bad. Is it, bad, or so bad it's good, or is it guilty pleasure? Again, yes and no, as far as being so bad it's good. Well, anyway, let's go and start with the premise. It was a great premise, great premise, very creative, very interesting. Whether it's executed very well or not, I'll get to that in a minute. It starts out really good. So anyway, Jill Sholin plays a film student who, her and her classmates are putting on a fundraiser. They're gonna they're going to arrange a movie marathon at a local theater, horror movie marathon. It's going to be like a triple feature, showing 3 movies. One of them is with giant mosquitoes. The other one's like something about the Electric Man or something, and the other one's called The Stench, I think, in Odorama. And all of them have gimmicks, like props, kind of like the old William Castle movies of the 50s and 60s. It's very, very much an homage to William Castle. Props and cheap gimmicks and stuff. Like during the mosquito movie, a giant plastic mosquito on a string will come out into the audience and stuff like that. Thing they used to do in actual like midnight spook shows and stuff, which really needs to make a comeback, by the way. So that's cool. I like that angle. It's really cool that it pays homage to that. And there's not enough movies that take place, enough horror movies that take place in a movie theater. The only one I can think of at the moment is the Italian horror film Demons, directed by Lamberto Bava, and a brief scene in Scream 2. But I know there's a few others, but more horror movies that take place in a theater, because it's a great setting for a horror movie. So anyway, they're at this marathon, they're hosting this marathon, people are watching the movies, and they discovered that, I think his name was Lanyard Gates, was a director who made a film called Possessor, and then I guess he murdered his family, as well as people watching the screening of the film, and then Jill Sholin's character has been having nightmares about it. She knows she's connected to the killer, Lanyard Gates, somehow, and she thinks that he's returned when people start being killed at the movie theater. Some people think it's part of the show, some people don't really know what's going on. She wants to know what's going on, and I'm going to spoil who the killer is at the end of the video. I'm going to get into spoilers. I'm filming a video! Sorry. Filming a video! Sorry. Here's my family. My people I live with just got home. Where was I? Dee Wallace is in this as well. She's also no stranger to the horror genre. There's a killer at the theater. He's offing people one by one. Is he supernatural or what? Is it Lanyard Gates back from the dead or whatever? Does he want revenge or what's going on? Jill Sholin knows she has a connection like with her dreams and stuff, but she doesn't know what. And she's trying to solve the mystery. which I won't really give that part away, but I am going to give away the killer's identity at the end because there's one thing I have to talk about. But the interesting thing about the killer is that he wears disguises. He's a master of disguise. You never know who or what he's going to look like. He disguises other characters. He's got a big mask collection. You know, he makes masks to look like anybody. He can assume the identity of anyone, which is very cool. You know, it's like a evil version of Darkman, sort of, which is really interesting. I thought that was done well. You know, the movie theater setting and the whole tribute to William Castle and the Midnight Spook Show and the props gimmick in the movie theater and the killer, his MO is pretty cool. Everything else, yeah, it could have been better. The acting isn't that good, but then again, complaining about acting in a horror movie of this ilk is like complaining if there's carbonation in your soda, you know. Jill Schoelen's good, Dee Wallace is good, and the guy who plays the killer, which again, I'm not going to reveal his identity until the end, is pretty good too, in a way. So yeah, that's the basic premise. Yeah, murders in a movie theater, a killer who is like a chameleon and kills people in inventive ways. You know, somebody gets stabbed with the actual mosquito prop that I mentioned earlier, and you know, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool stuff. But anyway, yeah, that's the basic premise. Yeah, great idea for a movie. Some really cool ideas. I still recommend it just because it has some cool ideas and some are pretty realized. But it could have been a lot better. It's kind of a letdown. I'd probably give it about maybe a 6 out of 10. When it started out, you know, the first half, it's probably be like an 8. But as a finished product as a whole, the completed movie feels like more like a 6. And that's probably being generous. Yeah, this could have been a lot better. But it's still, you know, it's kind of fun. You know, it's a good way to kill, you know, an hour and a half. You know, it's harmless. It's not like terrible and unwatchable or anything. It just could have been a lot better. It had loads of potential and didn't really live up to it. But again, there are enough good ideas and, you know, and stuff there. It just kind of feels like a mishmash. It's a little convoluted. I feel like they could have been a little more, you know, they could have narrowed it down a little bit to a more basic idea. You know, it kind of felt like the makers couldn't make up their minds. But here's the thing, it doesn't make any sense. All right, here, spoiler alert, because I am going to give away the killer's identity, okay? You have been warned. Spoilers ahead. Stop the video now if you haven't seen this movie yet and you want to. Spoiler alert. All right, you've been warned. So there's a scene early on where somebody's looking up at the marquee, you know, the sign on the theater telling, you know, what's playing and stuff, the movies that are currently showing, you know, the show times. And the letters fly off the marquee and it spells out something else. I can't remember what exactly it says. Something evil or something wicked or something. It's not important. But the thing is, so I was like, okay, so the killer is supernatural. Maybe it is Lanyard Gates, back from the dead. He's a ghost or a zombie or whatever. He's got powers, you know, supernatural abilities. But no, it reveals that the killer is none other than, spoiler alert, Jill Schoelen's character. I think her name is Sarah. Her classmate, Toby, played by Tom Villard, I believe is his name. Or no, her name's Maggie, sorry, not Sarah, Maggie. Yeah, I got her mixed up with something else. Something that happens later in the movie, which I won't give that part away. Her connection to Lanyard Gates and why she's having the nightmares. I'm not going to talk about that because it's not really important. It is kind of interesting, but I feel like it kind of made it too complicated. But anyway, yeah, Toby is the killer. Turns out that during the Lanyard Gates massacre, he set the theater on fire, and a lot of people were killed. And I think Toby's family was killed, or his mom or something, and he ended up being horrifically scarred, and so now he wears these masks and stuff, and he even disguises himself from, you know, before his accident or whatever, or before the, you know, the movie theater massacre done by Lanyard Gates. And so, yeah, it's Toby, and he wears different masks and stuff, and yeah, so how did he do that with the marquee? How did he make the letters fly off the sign and rearrange themselves to spell something different? How the hell did he do that? He's just an ordinary human with a scarred face. You know, he's disfigured, but, you know, and he almost died, but he's alive. Very much so. He's an ordinary human. How the hell did he do that? And also, his motivations kind of didn't make sense. And once he reveals that he's the killer and has like a whole new look and stuff, he just kind of looks, has like really demonic looking eyes and kind of a, you know, like a kind of a scarred face. He's really over the top, and it kind of reminds me of Jim Carrey's character in The Mask. This came out first, by the way, and The Mask was in, like, what, 94? This was 91. So I doubt Jim Carrey saw this, but who knows, maybe he took some inspiration from The Mask character, I don't know. But he kind of, that's who Toby kind of reminds me of. And, yeah, he's a little annoying, but I think it works. He's not terrible. He's kind of an interesting villain, but I feel like there could have been more meat to it. I feel like it didn't need that twist. You know, it would have been cool if it actually was Lanyard Gates and he was supernatural. But again, I love how the killer can disguise himself and take, you know, change forms and stuff. That was cool. And yeah, Toby is, yeah, he's a little irritating, but I didn't mind. It was an okay performance. But I just feel like the last half of the movie kind of feels, it doesn't live up to the first half, and it doesn't live up to what could have been. This movie could have been a lot better. But yeah, well, that's basically it. That's the killer is Toby, and he was wants revenge. So because it turns out that here's another spoiler: Maggie is actually Sarah, Lanyard Gates' daughter, or something. Yeah, it's kind of confusing and kind of weird, you know. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all I can remember. That's Popcorn. I still recommend you check it out because it's a good idea, a cool setting, a cool looking killer, some inventive kills. But just know that it could have been a lot better, and it's not going to be, you know, quite what you expect all the time because it feels like it tries to be one thing and then turns out to be something different. And it's like the makers are making up as they went along and couldn't make up their mind as to what kind of movie it would be. But know that you might have a good time. You might enjoy this more than I do. But, you know, again, I don't think it's terrible. You know, it's not unwatchable or anything. It's an okay way to spend your time. There are definitely worse movies out there that you could watch. So, you know, this one's mostly harmless. Just know that might not quite live up to your expectations. But if you do watch it, maybe after watching my review, you'll kind of know what to expect a little more. You'll know what you're in for. So yeah, that's Popcorn from 1991, directed by Mark Harrier. And starring Joel Sholin. Check it out if you get a chance, but if you want to own this on any format, good luck, because it's very hard to find, and it's long out of print. It's very rare and obscure. And I do love the 80s feel, like I said, but yeah, it could have been a lot better. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching my Midnight Spook Show here on the Horror Metal channel. Until next time, later.